Welcome to Club Libertas, the private membership club for the modern mystic. There's a fire inside you. You felt it, not just when you're angry, but when life mocked your effort, when you stayed silent while others disrespected your path, when you swallowed your truth to maintain peace, when the world expected you to bend, to kneel, to comply. That fire, it's not weakness. It's not something to escape. It's your signal, your call to rise, to evolve. But most men run from it. They numb it. They fear their own power. Because controlling that fire takes a strength most never develop. But not you. You're here, not to silence the fire, but to harness it, to master it, to become the man who doesn't burn others, but burns brighter than anything around him. Element 1. Rage is the signal, not the problem. Let's destroy a lie right now. Rage is not toxic. What's toxic is a man who pretends he feels nothing, who bottles his truth, who swallows his roar and wears a smile he doesn't mean. Rage isn't a flaw, it's a mirror. It shows you the parts of your life you've outgrown, the boundaries you've let others violate, the standards you've compromised on for too long. It says, wake up. Rage is the rebel in your soul, demanding that you stop playing small, but the immature man reacts. He punches walls, raises his voice, destroys everything around him. The wise man? He watches, he listens. He lets that fire inform him, not consume him. He doesn't say, I shouldn't be angry. He asks, what is this anger trying to show me? And once he understands, he sharpens, he elevates, he moves forward with power, not panic, but it all begins with awareness. Element 2, fire without form is destruction. Fire with direction is destiny. We've seen what uncontrolled fire can do. It destroys relationships. It ruins trust. It leaves you alone with nothing but ashes. But that same fire, if forged in discipline, if held with awareness, if directed with intention, becomes unstoppable. It becomes the power to rebuild, to reforge yourself, to create impact instead of chaos. When Alexander marched, his enemies feared his wrath. But it wasn't blind rage, it was calculated aggression. He aimed his fire. The world tells you to be nice, but nice doesn't build empires. Nice doesn't make history. Nice doesn't protect your family, your vision, or your soul. You need to be good, but dangerous. Disciplined in public, and volcanic in silence. Because a man with a calm exterior and a storm inside, that's the man you never want to cross. The greatest leaders in history didn't scream, they commanded. They led with poise and purpose, and their fire burned hotter than any explosion. That's the power of a focused man. So, the next time that fire rises within you, don't fear it. Don't push it down. Don't pretend it doesn't exist. Let it move through you, let it guide you, but control it, channel it, shape it, use it as the energy to break through the obstacles life throws your way. Element 3, learn to work with the flame, not against it. If you don't train your fire, it will train you. So how do you train it? Discomfort, discipline, stillness. Wake up early not because it's trendy, but because it makes you uncomfortable. Push past that last rep, not because someone is watching, but because the fire inside dares you to keep going. Say no to temptation, not to be moral, but because your mission requires restraint. You don't wait for anger to find you. You meet it halfway. You welcome the burn. You become friends with the heat. This is fire control training. Meditation? It's not to make you soft, it's to give your fire a container. Fasting? It's not to punish yourself, it's to prove you don't answer to cravings. Cold showers, silence, solitude, they are not punishments, they're weapons. They're how you tame the inferno. Because when real life tests you, when the betrayal hits, when the loss comes, when the moment demands the best of you, you won't react. You'll respond from power, from presence, from fire, but never from fear. And in that moment, you won't be overwhelmed. You'll be the master of your emotions, not the victim. Element 4. The world fears. There is something terrifying about a man who has mastered his fire. He doesn't chase validation. He doesn't need to prove himself. He walks into a room and shifts the energy, not with noise, not with dominance, but with a calm that says, I know who I am, and I've walked through fire to become him. That kind of man is dangerous. He doesn't threaten, but you feel his edge. He doesn't shout, but his silence makes you listen. He doesn't compete, because he knows no one else is playing the game he is. Your fire, when mastered, becomes your aura. It becomes the heat people feel in your presence, the strength behind your stillness, the sharpness behind your smile. You stop reacting. You stop chasing. You stop needing anyone to see you, because you see yourself. And that's a power they can't buy, can't fake, can't understand. Let them wonder. Element 5. Transcend the burn, become the fire. The final evolution isn't suppression, it's embodiment. You don't just control the fire, you become it. You become the force that shapes, that creates, that forges. You don't use your rage to hurt, you use it to heal, to protect, to pursue. You don't carry your pain, you weld it into armor. You don't chase revenge, you pursue purpose. And that's the difference between a man who stays stuck in his emotions and a man who builds legacy from them. So now I ask you, what will you do with your fire? Will you waste it? Will you numb it? Will you fear it? Or will you do what few dare to do? Will you listen? Will you train it? Will you become the master of your own burn? Because when you do, no one can shake you. No one can trigger you. No one can stop you. You'll be the man who rose from rage, forged in fire, driven not by destruction, but by destiny. This is Club Libertas, where pain becomes precision, where silence carries weight, and where fire is not feared, it is forged into greatness. Remember this, the man who controls his fire will one day light the world,